What's going on, everyone? Welcome to today's video. Recently, I did a video on best short JRPGs, but sometimes I like to completely immerse myself in a game for as long as humanly possible. So in this one, I'm going to be going through my favorite long JRPGs. These are games that take a minimum of like 50 plus hours to finish and oftentimes reach well over the 100-hour mark. If you're a fan of deep and engaging JRPGs and you're looking for something to completely get lost in, then you are in the right place. And with all that said, let's not waste any time and let's jump right into the games. First up, I have Persona 5 Royal. And in terms of long JRPGs, I think this is one of the best, if not the best. It takes advantage of its 100 plus hour playtime in really incredible ways. There's so much to do and explore and so many different ways to use your time. In fact, one of the core concepts of the game and one that pops up on the loading screens consistently is take your time. Persona 5 Royal excels in its character development through its social links, now called confidants, a feature Persona games are known for that encourage you to build relationships with different characters as you interact with your teammates, and you learn their personal stories and struggles from overcoming trauma to finding one's purpose. These confidants add depth to the game's characters and create emotional stakes that make the journey really rewarding. Now, investing time in these relationships also offers gameplay rewards. It's quite rare for games to do this so well. Incorporating all of the mechanics so they feed off each other in a unique and cohesive way is so important to keep the pacing moving forward in longer games. Each confidant grants special abilities or advantages in combat, giving you tangible incentives to explore the world outside of the main plot. This, mixed with the amazing combat system and top-notch presentation, make it a really great package. While Persona 5 Royal already offers more than 100 hours of content, it's a game that invites you to replay it for a variety of reasons. From experimenting with different social links and social activities to uncovering all of the game's secrets, multiple playthroughs reveal new layers and outcomes in the story. The New Game Plus mode allows you to carry over certain progress, such as your social stats and equipment, making a second playthrough easier and letting you explore different narrative paths or complete unfinished confidants. This is a must-play game no matter what, but specifically those looking for a longer JRPG are going to come away super happy with this one, I think. Next up, I have Dragon Quest XI. Now, this game right here is so incredible and takes all the really great core concepts of JRPGs and modernizes them in really creative ways. The turn-based combat, the story and plot, the characters, and not to mention the ability to actually play the entire game in a 2D classic mode all make this game something really special and worth every minute of its runtime. The cast of characters is another major draw for Dragon Quest XI. Each companion has their own distinct personality, backstory, motivations. From Eric to Jade, these characters' interactions and relationships with the Luminary add a depth and humor that keep the story fresh and engaging. Moments of comedy and heartwarming exchanges and surprising reveals kept me invested in the cast and encouraged me to spend time learning more about their unique backgrounds and personal quests. Character development goes beyond the dialogue and cutscenes, though, as each party member brings unique abilities and playstyles to the combat, giving you the freedom to create different strategies based on personal preference. This dynamic lineup not only enhances gameplay variety, but also makes the lengthy adventure feel more personal, as you will get to know and rely on your companions more and more as the game progresses. Dragon Quest XI's world is a joy to explore, filled with colorful towns, sprawling landscapes, hidden treasures, you name it. Each region has its own distinct aesthetic, and for me personally, I find that getting to new areas and new towns and JRPGs is one of the most exciting parts, and Dragon Quest XI handles this so incredibly well. The game's art style, inspired by the series creator Akira Toriyama, brings the world to life with vibrant, expressive character designs that add charm and warmth to every location. Dragon Quest XI's main story offers well over 100 hours of gameplay if you want to see everything, but it's packed with additional content and side quests that encourage further exploration. You can embark on side quests, engage in mini games like the casino, complete item collecting challenges, and discover rare and powerful items. The draconian quest options also offer a customizable difficulty setting, giving veteran players new ways to experience the story and its gameplay. This all adds further replayability to an already substantial game. Moving on, I have Metaphor ReFantazio, and this is probably going to be on my end of the year list for best games of 2024 and perhaps even best games of all time, because this game is absolutely incredible in every conceivable way. It has a couple of flaws here and there, but the combat, art style, story, soundtrack, characters, all of these are some of the best the genre has ever seen, and I can't stop playing it. One of the defining elements of Metaphor ReFantazio is its departure from the familiar urban setting of Persona, instead embracing this nice, beautiful fantasy world which is rich in lore and mystery. Metaphor immerses you in a kingdom facing real uncertainty, and a ton of great plot twists and interesting things happen with the story that ultimately have you traveling all over to achieve your ultimate goal. This imaginative world of castles and forests and mythical creatures makes Metaphor feel expansive, and for fans of Atlas games, the shift from contemporary to high fantasy settings feels both refreshing and super ambitious, to be honest. It presents a new take on the classic JRPG storytelling, and this game's dedication to world building invites you to lose yourself in its lore, where each region, character, and choice unearths another piece of the story. Look, I'm a diehard Persona fan, and I don't think Metaphor has managed to top that series for me, but in many ways, I think it finds its own unique place in the Atlas collection of games, and I find myself really connecting with the story. I lost 40 hours so quickly in this game, just played, and time flies. I mean, it really is a truly unique and special experience. The game is really long, but it doesn't feel that way, and that's what I look for in games that made it onto this list. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is a game that I really connected with. Xenoblade is one of my favorite series, and each game in the series excels in its own ways. But 3 seems to take what 1, 2, and X do well and bundle it all together into one amazing package. Add in the Future Redeemed DLC, and you have one of the best JRPGs of all time, and well over 100 hours of amazing content to get through. The storyline of Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is one of its greatest strengths in my opinion. The game follows a group of amazing characters. The story of Noah and Mio and their companions dives deep into some really complex themes that continue to build throughout that 70 to 80 hours of playtime that you get from the main story. You're not just witnessing a tale, but you're experiencing a complex journey filled with twists and deeply emotional moments that are rare in most games. The narrative doesn't shy away from deep character development either, giving you an experience that's both impactful and thought-provoking. The story is paced with precision, balancing action sequences with character-driven moments and philosophical undertones that add depth to the journey. The story isn't the only thing that makes this game truly great though, but it's the vast open world and incredibly deep combat system that keeps things feeling fresh from start to finish. I feel like Monolith Soft has managed to refine this formula to near perfection. The combat in 1 was more straightforward, and 2 then took it to a completely obscure and complex place, but 3 found the balance between them and added in some quality of life enhancements. Bam, you have one of the best JRPG combat systems I've ever played. The open world is also a ton of fun to explore. I lost myself in this game for well over 100 hours, and if you enjoy a long JRPG, then I'm sure you will too. Next up is Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. I put Vengeance on here over the original because of all the amazing upgrades featured in its release. This is one of the most incredible and challenging JRPGs out there, and after spending 100 or so hours perfecting my team of demons, I can honestly say this is one of the best long JRPGs you can sink your teeth into. SMT5 is a deep, challenging, and richly immersive JRPG that appeals to fans of strategic gameplay, dark narratives, and my personal favorite aspect, demon collecting. SMT5 combines atmospheric storytelling, layered with incredibly deep combat mechanics, and a captivating world that draws you in, and not just for a little bit of time, but for countless hours. I mean, you could lose tons of time to this one. And with all of these mechanics, SMT5 offers a unique experience just all around. While Shin Megami Tensei games are known for their difficulty, SMT5 introduces a number of quality of life improvements and difficulty options to make the experience accessible to a wider range of players. The game provides difficulty settings that allow newcomers to ease into the world and mechanics of SMT without sacrificing the core challenge that veterans appreciate. Additionally, quality of life features like save points, fast travel, and in-depth tutorials make it easier to acclimate to the game's systems. For players looking for a true test of their skills, higher difficulty modes retain that intense level of challenge that the series is known for. This accessibility paired with the game's inherent difficulty allows you to choose a path that best suits your comfort level and style, ultimately making SMT5 more inclusive while staying true to the series' reputation for rewarding strategy and precision. I adore this game, and if you haven't played it, then Vengeance is definitely the way to go, as it solves a lot of the issues I had with the original release of the game, and really is one of my favorite SMT games of all time. Next up is Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, and if you're looking to get completely lost in a modern open world game, then Infinite Wealth really is a game that will scratch that itch. Do you like losing yourself in completely insane Mario Party style minigames? Do you like an incredibly deep and complex story filled with hilarious humor? I'm a sucker for these things, so Infinite Wealth has stood out to me as one of the best games this year and one I poured an insane amount of time into. This game combines the heart of a crime drama with a lively turn-based JRPG system, providing a captivating experience that appeals to both longtime fans of Yakuza and those new to the series. Known for its over-the-top humor, endearing characters, and thrilling storylines, Infinite Wealth elevates the series by blending personal narratives and larger-than-life scenarios. You'll be taking on the role of Ichiban, a former low-ranking Yakuza with a loyal spirit and a heart of gold. You'll be thrown into the most outlandish of situations at every turn. This series' commitment to exploring the underdog journey adds a layer of relatability to its characters that I really like following, and overall it just makes for a better story. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth gives you significant control over your party's growth through its job system. Jobs function as classes, each with distinct styles, attributes, and abilities, ranging from traditional JRPG-inspired roles like bodyguard and hostess to unexpected options like musician or chef. Each job has its own set of unique attacks and abilities and stat boosts, and this encourages you to experiment and find the right mix for every party member. The job system also lets you switch roles frequently, meaning the gameplay never gets stale as new skills and strategies become available. With its intricate storyline, extensive side content, and deep customization options, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth provides well over 80 to 100 hours of gameplay for those who want to explore every facet of the world, complete all the sub-stories, master every minigame, and experiment with all the job combination. This game offers tremendous replay value. The narrative's multiple layers and rich character arcs give you plenty of reasons to revisit this game and continue discovering new experiences and outcomes. If for whatever reason you missed Infinite Wealth this year, this is a must play. Next up is Octopath Traveler, and honestly one or two really work here, either or. Both are very long games and have just a ton of content and plenty to fall in love with. Every element of these games is absolutely spectacular. The art style, the soundtrack, the story, and the characters, and the turn-based combat system is one of the best ever made. You can lose yourself in these games easily, and I have actually replayed Octopath Traveler 2 twice since its release and enjoyed every minute of it. Octopath Traveler 2 is built on the experience of 8 separate stories, each focusing on a different protagonist with their own quest and personal struggles. From a scholar seeking revenge to a merchant aiming to reclaim her freedom, each character's story brings distinct perspectives and motivations. This structure provides incredible variety, allowing you to focus on individual story arcs while exploring how these tales gradually interconnect. And with that structure, you get a different overall feel for each part of the game, helping the experience feel varied and fresh throughout the entire playthrough. This multi-protagonist setup makes the game highly accessible, as you can start with any character and build your party over time, experiencing each story in any order you choose. This approach keeps the narrative fresh and engaging, as each character's journey brings unique themes and challenges. For players who enjoy rich storytelling, the format here in Octopath Traveler and Octopath Traveler 2 ensures a consistently rewarding experience, in my opinion. With 8 protagonists and extensive side quests, these games offer dozens of hours of content. The non-linear structure means you can progress through each character's story at your own pace, like I said before, and alternating between the main quests and side activities is a ton of fun. Each region is filled with hidden secrets, powerful bosses, and unique challenges, rewarding those who take the time to explore every nook and cranny of the map. This structure that I've been talking about is what makes these games highly replayable. I loved experiencing different story orders, different party compositions, secondary job combinations on each of my playthroughs. For those looking for a long, substantial RPG, the game's expansive world and branching narratives provide plenty of content to enjoy long after the main stories are complete. Moving on, I have Persona 3 Reload. This is one of my top games of the year and is right up there with Persona 5 as one of my all-time favorite JRPGs. I really love what Atlas did with this remake, and it makes for the definitive way to play one of the best stories in any game out there. The game clocks in at around 70 plus hours and can go even longer for completionists. Persona 3 Reload brings us back to the dark hour, a hidden hour between midnight and the next day when ordinary people are unknowingly frozen and only a few can remain conscious to fight the shadows that lurk in it. The story is incredibly dark, but finds times to be lighthearted when it needs to. A ton of upgrades were applied to Reload, from visuals to soundtrack, but the most notable of which has to be the gameplay to offer more control and strategic options, modernizing the combat without losing the depth that made the original game so engaging. You now have full control over each party member in battle, which is an absolute must and honestly was one of the biggest complaints of the original. The combat system encourages you to exploit enemy weaknesses and manage your party's personas, and overall feels very familiar to all the bells and whistles that came with Persona 5. When I made this list, I thought of games that when you complete them, it didn't feel like you spent 100 plus hours with them. You came away wanting more, and that's actually a really rare feeling. Thankfully, I think you get that here, because I still think about this game long after finishing it, and that's why it's on this list. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is absolutely incredible. The story is amazing, the gameplay is engaging, and the presentation is top-notch. There's so much to do in this game in the way of mini-games and side content. Queen's Blood is something I got absolutely lost in and could be an entire game in and of itself. But my point here is that the overall package with Rebirth is one that you can get lost in for 70 to 100 hours easily. Leaving the confines of Midgar, Rebirth opens up a world full of incredible landscapes, towns, dangerous wild areas to explore. The development team here has crafted an environment that blends the essence of the original Final Fantasy VII's world with modern graphics and interactive elements, making exploration incredibly enjoyable. This open world approach not only makes the world feel expansive, but also rewards your curiosity. I was consistently encouraged to wander off the beaten path and uncover additional storylines and activities. Rebirth really does well at providing a deep, immersive experience that makes you feel incredible even after it's all said and done. This game offers an expansive main story as well that will take dozens of hours to complete, along with numerous side quests and mini games and hidden content that it can extend the playtime even further. For those who want to explore every nook and cranny of the world, complete all character arcs, and take on challenging enemies, Rebirth provides ample content to satisfy those JRPG cravings. The game also has strong replayability, as you can revisit different areas, tackle additional quests, and experiment with new tactics and character builds. With varying difficulty options and a multitude of optional challenges, Rebirth ensures that each playthrough can offer a new experience, whether you're diving back into the story details you missed or mastering the combat mechanics on harder difficulties. There's always something to keep you coming back. I love that you can go back and play each chapter after you finish the game with all the stuff you gained from the initial playthrough. It just makes the game a ton of fun to revisit. I love Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and it's up there with one of my favorite games of the year. Finally, I'm going with Fire Emblem Three Houses to round out this list. This game managed to do what many try to do and fail at. Three Houses gives you multiple storylines that intertwine and weave together cohesively in a way that ultimately makes the experience more enjoyable the more you play it. I played it for well over 100 hours. The alternate paths aren't just there, but each serves a purpose and each has their own lineup of characters, and therefore each one feels like its own unique experience, and I can't give enough praise to the replayability this game offers. Fire Emblem Three Houses also introduces the monastery, the military academy, where you spend a significant part of the game. Here you can participate in daily activities, interact with faculty, and manage your students' training schedules. This academy phase is a refreshing change of pace from the game's combat-focused sections, allowing you to invest in relationships, recruit new students, and take on multiple side quests. I know a lot of people complained about this aspect, but I loved it, and I thought it added variation to the gameplay and helped me feel more invested in the characters and the story. The setting overall just fosters this immersive sense of community, making each character feel like a vital part of a larger world. Fire Emblem Three Houses on its own is a standout tactical JRPG that expertly combines tactical gameplay with a deeply engaging story and character-driven social system. The unique blend of academy life and tactical combat really provides that rewarding balance of personal growth and strategic challenge with its branching paths, nuanced characters, and compelling story. Three Houses is a long, fulfilling journey that invites you to invest not just in the battles, but in the relationships and the world they are building. For fans of character-driven stories and strategic gameplay, this game is a masterclass in JRPG design and a memorable experience that rewards time and commitment. All right, everyone, that's it for me in this one. That's my top 10 long JRPGs. Most of these games will likely put you over the 100-hour mark in playtime and keep you busy for a super long time. I know a lot of us like to get lost in a game and spend as much time as possible in it, and these games are perfect for that. On the other hand, if you're looking for a shorter experience you can finish much quicker, then be sure to check out my list of short JRPGs. I'll link it here in the video. Be sure to also let me know in the comments below what games you've spent the most time with. I'd love to hear what games you all have gotten lost in. Until next time, I'm out.